Hey folks, and welcome back to another one of my videos. I'm Brendan from Bluelight, and if you're watching this, it's because you've got a big question that's going on in your mind at this moment in time. How am I going to prepare for this new normal? So if you're watching this, we're right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic that's sweeping the world and it's having tragic consequences, but life still goes on in terms of police recruitment. Some of the webinars I've been doing just recently, and if you've not seen those webinars, by the way, check out the links in YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel where you'll be able to see those webinars in full. But they've been with recruiting officers from forces like British Transport Police, Nottinghamshire Constabulary, and their message is, we're still recruiting. We can't stop recruiting. So how are you going to manage the challenges now that exist with the online recruitment processes that they're starting to introduce, whether it's for the final interview or whether it's for the online assessment centre, which, as I record this, should just be a couple of weeks away now. The College of Policing are working on it. I've got a pretty good idea what it's going to involve, and I've got a pretty good idea about how I'm going to help prepare you for it. So I've got the answers, and no matter what type of assessment process, interview process they introduce, it's still going to involve all the different core methods and core skills which I've been showing many of you over the years. It's just that we're going to have to adapt some of them. We're going to have to adapt some of them because you can't manage role plays over something like Zoom or Skype in the same way as you can manage them face-to-face at an assessment centre. Nor can you manage some kind of presentation to an interviewer at a final interview in the same way that you would if you were face-to-face in a room with a small panel. There's so many different ways we're going to have to adapt, not just in terms of how we structure our responses, but also in how we position ourselves. So if we just take a look at the background here, for example, it just would not be appropriate for any kind of online assessment because it's too cluttered, there's too much information going on. Another thing to look at is eye contact. So we're pretty much level here, aren't we? Whereas most of the time, even on the television where I'm seeing people being interviewed via Skype, because of course no one's doing face-to-face interviews anymore, it tends to be because someone's looking down at their laptop and the camera of the laptop, which is the back of it's pushed down, is staring up at their nose. So all the interviewer sees is the contents of your nose. So there's different things that we need to do practically, but also there's a lot of things that we need to do to ensure that we're adapting all of the approaches like CUDSA, the SAL approach for the interview, being your real, authentic and emotional self. So many different things that we can adapt slightly to make them work. So the big challenge is how to prepare. And this is where I'm absolutely delighted and really excited actually to tell you about two different things. One of them is about to happen and one of them is already happening. So for the final interview, where previously, and I'll still be doing them, I've been doing final interview webinars and one-to-one coaching because there's so many different types of final interview. I found it a bit of a challenge to put together an online course for it. Well, now I have, and it's only just a few days off ready to launch. And I'm so excited by it because I've taken all of my knowledge and experience from 20 plus years of supporting people, coaching people for their interview, for their promotion boards, their specialist interviews. And now I'm outside of the police for their assessment centres and their recruitment interviews, in-force interviews. I've taken all of that knowledge and experience, over 20 years worth, and I've managed to condense it into a course that's got so much detail in it. Oh my goodness. You might have been thinking, I just need to spend half a day preparing my final interview. No, you're going to be spending days preparing for your final interview using this course. But it's going to give you every opportunity to succeed. I'm showing you the way. You've still got to do the hard work. Now, a lot of you have also heard about the online assessment centres because there's no way the police at the moment can run the search assessment centre. There's no way they can run the day one assessment centre. They'll be like coronavirus carousels. And they'll be against the law as well because, you know, to leave your house, you've got to have a reasonable excuse. And the government have already given examples of those reasonable excuses. And one of them is not to attend a recruitment event. is not to attend assessment centre for the police. That is not a reasonable excuse that's given by the government. So this is why we've got to prepare for the online assessment centre. And as soon as all of this happened, I started cancelling my future seminars, and instead I've been running my assessment centre seminars via webinar. So candidates still get access to my online course, which provides you with all the models and structures. Some of you, as you well know, because you've already got access to it, provides you with all you need in terms of your knowledge and understanding and how to put it into practice to pass a face-to-face assessment centre. Well, all I've done is I've taken that and I've turned it into a webinar-based delivery model where 2 cohorts have already, one's gone through it already, one's still going through it, course 2 of 2020, they're still going through it. And we're having some really interesting results actually, because I dedicate a Facebook group to each one of those cohorts. They're starting to practice with each other, they're starting to form friendships with each other, which is something I'm really pleased to see. They're starting to connect in a way that I didn't quite anticipate. So they're practicing in the webinars. The webinars aren't just me talking, the webinars are us practicing. What we do in these webinars is we practice. And there's a confidentiality agreement in place so that no one will discuss what happens in those webinars. But the great thing it's doing is it's preparing people for that new world. So we're doing role plays online via Zoom. We're doing practice interview questions online via Zoom, because that's what I think the new normal is going to be in terms of online assessment. I think what we're going to see is once we're out of all of this, and I hope we're out of this soon, but however many months it takes us to emerge from this, I think what we might see is forces in the College of Policing thinking, actually, do you know what? Those are all online assessment centres. They're working. We're getting the people that we need, and they're still testing, they're still challenging, and we don't have to have this huge facility that we run assessment centres from, and people don't have to travel halfway across the country to attend an assessment centre. It may be that out of this, the new normal is, yeah, we do all of our assessment centres online. We get to meet the individual at the final interview. Who knows? I mean, I just don't know, but that might be my prediction. And I know from those individuals who I know who are involved in planning for the online assessment centre that it is going to test your values. So don't think you can just gameplay it like you could the search assessment centre. It will be a little bit more akin, I think, to the day one, and it will certainly start looking at testing and challenging your values. So there's a lot to prepare for still. And what I'm doing on these webinars is I'm sort of helping to prepare people for what the new normal might be, and only for those people who are on the webinar-based courses, I will be introducing additional modules to help prepare them for the assessment centre that's online. Once we know more about the online assessment centre, I will be preparing modules for them, webinars for them, where we will practice the skills that are needed to get them through this stage. Because once the College of Policing release some information about what it involves, it'll only take me half a day to work out these are the models and structures you should utilise for each one of these exercises. Now let's practice them. I think what they'll probably do is put you in a position as a police officer dealing with complaints online, via Zoom, via Skype, whatever it might be, and they'll have role players that you've got to role play and interact with. And they will still have an interview, because there's no reason to have a face-to-face interview. Why have a face-to-face interview when you can do it all online? So I'm going to help practice those things with my delegates so that by the time they get to the assessment centre, get to it, they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to do it from the comfort of their own home. They will be well prepared. So, you know who I am. I've been coaching and supporting people for years. I'm able to adapt and change the way we deliver things very, very quickly. And that's what I'm going to do for you. That's what I'm going to do for you. So if you want to be part of that and you're already on one of the online courses, then click on the link below, because you'll see that option 1 is £129 to join the webinar-based course. But if you're already on one of my online courses, I'll refund £70 back onto your card. So, sorry, no, I'll refund £59 back onto your card. So the amount you've already paid for the online course, I will refund. So the cost to you is £70. If you are not part of the online course, then it's £129. You'll get access to my online course. You'll get access to a client-only Facebook group. This is where I post all of my sort of icing on the cake videos with all the incredible detail in. to help support you through every part of the recruitment process, and where you can interact with other people who are already part of the course. And you'll still have access to all the webinars. Each cohort is limited to 15 people, only 15 people. Cohort 1 of 2020 filled. Cohort 2 of 2020 filled. I've just launched cohort 3 of 2020, and I'll soon put 4 of 2020 on there as well. I anticipate they will fill too. And all of them still backed by my money back guarantee. So if you do all of the work and you don't get through your assessment centre and you can demonstrate that to me, I'll give you a full refund. So there's no risk to you. The risk is all mine. The risk is all mine, but I know it's a no-brainer. I've only given 3 refunds over the past 1 year. So it's not that much of a risk really, is it? You do the hard work, I'll show you the way. So folks, click on the below link. This is where you'll find out more. And I'd love to see you at one of these webinars. And if you're, if you're interested in the final interview course, just watch out for the announcements in the Facebook group and on the Facebook page, on YouTube, on Twitter. But the Facebook group's probably the best place. Did you know we've now got over 10,000 people in that Facebook group, the Bluelight Police Recruitment Facebook group? Oh my goodness, what an amazing number, over 10,000 people helping to support each other. You're all absolutely amazing. And the posts in there are so supportive. Keep it going, folks. And I shall see you soon. Bye-bye for now.